Hey, it's Tesla Canuck here, back with another video. Today's a road trip video. I'm going to be driving from Barrie, Ontario, Canada to Albany, New York State, and that's about almost 700 kilometers. I've done this drive before. I did it last year. I didn't have any really good equipment back then, so redoing the trip, not to make a video. I actually have to go there on business, but I've got some good equipment this time. I'm going to make a better video. I'm going to show you guys, I don't know, hopefully some interesting stuff along the way. But let's go over the details of the trip. All right, so I charged the car to 96%, which equated to 489 kilometers, before I left. And yeah, a full charge should be 523 kilometers, but I've talked many times about how you can't really look at the number that you see here in terms of your range left and really deduce too much out of it, because the algorithms in play take into account how you drive. I tend to drive this car a little bit harder than I should. Don't we all? So I'm not surprised to see my range being a little bit less than I would otherwise expect it to be. Anyhow, it's a bit of a tight drive. When I did the navigation, when I put everything in there, it said basically I'm going to arrive with 5% to Waterloo, New York, which is going to be where I'm going to charge up. That's approximately 400 kilometers from here, and I'm going to try to do it all in one go. So I'm going to go into what I call camel mode. Just lock things down, get to the destination. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is what the route looks like right here, and it's going to take me through, it looks like the border crossing down by Niagara Falls, which is great. I always love going through there. Actually, no, I'm going to be going through Buffalo. Okay, that's cool too. Or I don't know. Let's see. Let's zoom in and see where the heck I'm going here. That looks like it's going to be, I don't know, Queenston, Lewiston, maybe. Yeah, that's what bridge I'm going over. Okay. And here's Waterloo. So this is my supercharging destination. I'm not super concerned. There are quite a few superchargers along the way. I'm sure I'll get rerouted if there's a problem. It is a little bit windy out right now. It shows me arriving. Oh, it changed from Waterloo to Victor. So I guess it wasn't very happy with the Waterloo. Okay. Well, nonetheless, so I'm going to arrive there with 12%. It's saying. And I had put it, my buddy's going to laugh. He always laughs at me at this, but I had put it in chill mode simply because at the time it was tight, like a 5% state of charge at arrival. And I figured if I put it on chill, that would balance my natural tendencies to hammer it. So that's why you see I'm driving in chill here. But now that I've got a little bit more buffer, I think I'm going to take it out of chill and drive a little less like an old lady. So no offense to old ladies out there. I'll be back with updates along the way if there's anything interesting to show you. There's a couple of bridges along the way, maybe a few other things to look at, and I'll keep you updated in terms of my state of charge and the progress. And I'm expecting a smooth trip. It's 17 degrees Celsius out there today, so I mean that's fairly decent. I would have preferred maybe 21, 22 to maximize the range on this trip, but nonetheless, should be a beautiful day. Hey, I'm back with an update. So again, on my way to Albany, New York. I'm 100 kilometers into the journey. I've used 14 kilowatt hours, and I'm averaging 139 watt hours per kilometer. So that's better than rated range being 150 watt hours per kilometer, or kilometer, whatever. Now I am dialing it back for just videoing this segment. When I do a video, I don't want to be blazing down, 120, 130 or whatever, right? Also, my German friends, you'll be very happy to see that I am in the right-hand lane, the very right-hand lane. So I'm just saying, I heeded your advice from one of my last videos, driving like a gentleman. We are just about to head across the border from Canada into the United States. The border crossing here is called the Queenston-Lewiston crossing, and I've done this crossing before. Last time I was here, they didn't have Nexus, which is a pain in the butt because if you then you got to wait in the lineups. Hopefully that's changed. It'd be very nice to see a Nexus lane. But anyhow, let me show you what this crossing is like in case you ever are coming this way. Got to dial back the speed here. I don't know if anyone actually goes 40 through here, but why don't we dial it back to 50? And I keep nav on Autopilot going. Why does no, I don't think you want to do that. Oh, sorry, I had it on nav on Autopilot, and of course it doesn't recognize speed bumps. So that was I wouldn't normally take a speed bump at that speed. So okay, that's that was fun. All right, so we are going to the USA. I'm going to turn the cameras off at this point, just so I don't, get in trouble. All right, I'll be back. All right, I made it across the border. Oh, changing out of the passing lane. No. That's a merge lane, Tesla. That's a merge lane. Okay. Sorry, I just had to scold Navigate on Autopilot there for a moment. Okay, made it across the border. Pretty smooth. All right, so the next step here, let's take a look at our trip. See if I can dial up the speed a little bit. It still has me heading towards Victor, New York at the Supercharger there. I can't remember if it's Victor or Waterloo that has the casino. I like the one that has the casino. Not that I gamble, but they got a lot of places to eat and walk around. It's actually quite nice. I guess I'll see when I get there. But anyhow, plenty of juice to spare. And I'm still in camel mode. Not even remotely a problem there, so that's always good. All right, just had an interesting thing happen to me. There's a toll road here. I don't know what it's called, the New York Throughfare or Throughway or something like that. But anyhow, you have to stop at a toll to get this little piece of paper here that I guess based on how far you go is how much you pay when you exit. Seems like a pretty 1950s system with a piece of paper and all. But the thing that happened was funny is that I have a GoPro mounted, right on my passenger side window here, and I had put it back on after I went across the border. And then, of course, when you stop to at the toll booth to get this piece of paper, what do you have to do? You have to roll down your window. Well, now I know what happens in a Tesla when the window meets an obstruction. So basically, it just stops. It doesn't continue to try to roll down the window, so there's no burning of gears or something like that. So that's good news. Also good news is the GoPro mount didn't get stuck down there, so that's good. And I learned something new, and I'm sharing it with you guys. So if you ever have a GoPro or something else mounted to your windshield, or it's not windshield, to your passenger window, and you roll it down, Tesla's smart enough to know that there's an obstruction. All right, let's get to some news here. I thought this one was interesting. So, Tesla Model 3 buy versus EV salesperson from hell for the rest of us. So basically, what this article is about is, Tesla has a pretty simple sales process. Everybody pays the same price. You can walk into a store, you can order online. Matter of fact, their preferred channel is the online channel. And it's very simple. It's a few clicks, buy. Now let's contrast that though with the traditional car companies, with the dealer networks. And I've talked about this before in some of my videos. First, if you love the experience of going to a traditional dealership and going through that whole process where they suck you in with the ad, you get there, the vehicle in the ad's not available, so they upsell you to a similar vehicle, maybe more spec'd out or whatever, and then you're there for a few hours negotiating, and basically it's an all-day event. At least that's been my experience. And I would love to know, is there anyone out there that enjoys that experience? I don't. So I don't care to ever step foot into another traditional dealership car sales process. Once you have the Tesla process, you just can't go back. Now, I'm not talking about used Teslas. There's well-documented issues with buying used Teslas through Tesla online. Rich Rebuilds, had a huge issue with his, for example, if you've seen his videos on it. But anyhow, for a new car experience, you can't beat the Tesla experience, in my opinion. Okay, so here the article is really about, okay, you buy an EV from a traditional manufacturer that's not really interested in selling EVs, in my opinion, and you get a crappy experience because you'll get a salesperson who's poorly trained and really is trying to steer you from not to not buy an EV, right? I don't know what the comp plans are. It'd be interesting if you work for a dealership, the traditional manufacturer, and maybe you have one or two EVs in your lineup. How are you incented? Are you incented to actually sell those EVs, or are you incented to sell other product? I'd be really interested to know that. But the bottom line is that, as since I mentioned previously, the tipping point has been reached. It's well acknowledged. EV is, electric vehicles are the future, and at some point in time, that experience is going to need to change. And I don't know how, with the dealer network, that the manufacturers are going to manage that. Anyhow, that's the first kind of article to chat about. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be back shortly with something else that we can chat about. All right, I'm back. We need to talk about this article. Tesla Model 3 dominates U.S. electric car sales. The Nissan Leaf is winning around the world. Okay. Wow, let's talk about this. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm not going to put down the Nissan Leaf. I'm a firm believer, as you probably already know by my other statements, that more EV options, the better. It's great to have that competition. There's more than enough room for more than one company. But crap articles like this with clickbaity type of titles like this, basically what this article is saying is that cumulatively since 2013, Nissan has sold 400,000 Leafs compared to the cumulative sales of about 190, maybe 200,000 of the Model 3. So that is the basis of this article, saying that the Nissan Leaf is winning. But the funny part is, let's take a look at this chart here, this one right here. So we can see the Nissan Leaf sales are in the light blue here, and I mean, it kind of looks like a flat line to me. And what we see here with this line, the darker kind of purple line, are the Tesla Model 3 sales, which look like a freaking hockey stick. So in terms of who's winning, well, I think it's kind of clear that given another year or so, Tesla is going to, obviously, in my opinion, break that lead that Nissan Leaf has, a cumulative lead. I mean, this chart just basically tells you how that's going to happen. The other thing that's not mentioned in this article is that while they give the US sales figures, they kind of gloss over the fact that Tesla just started selling cars globally. So outside of North America, at least the Model 3, right? Obviously, they've sold the S and X all over the world, but in terms of the Model 3, which is the subject of this article, they just started selling globally. So to have a headline that says the Nissan Leaf is winning around the world is a real head scratcher, especially when the actual data in the article doesn't support that conclusion. So these articles are fascinating. I don't know. I guess people get paid by the word. I don't know. But again, Nissan Leaf, it's a fine EV. In my opinion, having a battery system that isn't actively cooled is problematic. But other than that, I'm not knocking it. It's great to have EV options. I just laugh at articles like this. All right, let's take a look, see where I am on my journey. I've done 289.5 kilometers, 3 hours, 15 minutes, 143 watt hour per kilometer. I'm kind of taking it easy, just chilling out here in the right-hand lane. Just having a relaxing drive, navigate on autopilot. Nothing unusual here to report. Let's take a look, see. One interesting change, is that Tesla rerouted me now. So instead of stopping in Victor, New York, I'm going to be again directed towards Waterloo, New York. So I think maybe it's because I've been not driving very aggressive, but the range estimate now has put me in the likelihood of being able to get to Waterloo without any drama. So that's great. It's great too that the system will monitor what your state of charge is and be able to tell you basically you can make it further, so go for it. That's fantastic. All right, that's it. I'll be back with some more later. Hopefully I'll find some other ridiculous articles to talk about. This is what I love about coming to the US. With the money and the $1 bills, it looks like you got a wad of cash. That's so hilarious. All right, before I plug in, let's take a look and see the stats here. 403 kilometers driven. That's what? That's roughly what? 60 times 4, 240 some odd miles, roughly, give or take. 4 hours and 22 minutes. That's not bad considering I spent about 25 minutes at the border. 140 watt hour per kilometer, or kilometer, whatever that is. I'll have to do the conversion for the miles when I produce the video, but that's better than rated. It's all you really need to know. So it's better than rated. Yeah, I wasn't killing it today, so I'm very pleased with that, actually. It's 20 degrees Celsius outside. That's about 68 degrees Fahrenheit, that I do know. So, yeah, pretty optimal conditions. All right, let me go plug in and see what kind of speed we're going to get today. All right, let's take a look at this. And then once we can see what kind of peak charging speed we're going to get at 15% state of charge, then I'll go and grab a burger. I think they got a burger place here if I remember. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Well, that's not too shabby. I'll take that. All right, so this is what the Supercharger location looks like in Woodstock, New York. And again, there's a casino there. And the food, I think, is over in that door down there. And then if you look back here, that's where the Supercharger stations are. And it's a pretty massive place. It's a good place to stretch your legs and have a bite. All right, I'm back. So just to recap the stop at Waterloo, New York, it was about half an hour to go from 15% state of charge to 90%. Barely enough time for me to run in there, stretch my legs, use the bathroom, you know, get a hamburger. All right, so let's talk about this latest article here from Electric. Looks like there's now going to be 2 levels of early access to the updates from Tesla. And, you know, a lot of people have a bone of contention here because they purchased full self-drive back in, you know, some people as early as late 2016, if I recall. Personally, we bought full self-drive on our Model X in 2017. And, you know, I was really expecting to get early access in lieu of the reduced price that Elon gave everybody for a period of a few days, a few months ago. So, you know, I'm not one of these people who's crying for a refund. I knew what I was getting into. I've said that many times. You know, I support the mission and yeah, you know, so I haven't gotten much for my money yet with the full self-drive, but I know that it's gone into development and I'm okay with that. Some people might not be. But I thought it was a really great offer from Elon to at least give us the early access program, which I personally have not been granted, even though we purchased full self-drive, like I said, in 2017. I have you know, made a few different support inquiries that really didn't go anywhere. But like I said, you know, that's cool. I mean, I'd love to have it. I'm not going to, you know, die in the mountain for it, so to speak, right? So if this comes to fruition and at least there's some level of early access, that's going to make me pretty happy, to be honest with you. If it doesn't happen, you know, I'm kind of okay with that too, I guess, right? All right, so that's it. Let's see, where am I on my journey? Ooh, Montreal. I could double back to Canada. So just about to come across Syracuse. Looks like we've got, what, another 255 kilometers, 2 hours and 17 minutes. Okay, before I go and plug in, just want to look at the stats from that last leg. So 283.2 kilometers, 2.43 hours, 143 watt hour per kilometer. Again, better than rated range. So fantastic. I was keeping it between like 65 and 70 miles per hour. That's what, 110 to 115 kilometers per hour. So really happy with today's trip. Did really well on the range. And this there's actually 2 superchargers in pretty close proximity to each other in Albany. I guess I'm kind of on the outskirts of Albany right now. But this one here, I've been to the other one. This one here is a pretty swank mall. So I'm going to, you know, maybe take a little bit of a video of the outside before I conclude this video segment. But yeah, it looks pretty swank. All right, let's plug in. Let's see what kind of juice we're getting, and we'll take it from there. All right, let's see what we got. Now, interestingly, when I came in, there's a couple other Teslas here, and there is one Tesla stall that is iced. Anyhow, let's see, 116. I'm not sharing a circuit with anybody, so I was expecting 150-ish. Sorry, between 140 and 150 for the kilowatt for the juice there. And yeah, no, it doesn't look like we're going to get it. My state of charge, as you can see, is like 34%, so I should be getting better than this. But all right, let me go take a quick video to show you where this is located in the mall, and then we will conclude this video. All right, as you can see, this is a pretty giant mall. Any mall that has a Cheesecake Factory and a Nordstrom rack is probably pretty good. And there's a Whole Foods right over there. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There, that's a Whole Foods. It's dark outside now, so it's a little bit tricky to take the video, but that's the area that we are in. All right, that's it. Tesla Canuck, over and out.